Welcome to Muffed. Tough year, and we owe you the story. Muffed! Jaylen Waddle finished 2025 as the number 24 wide receiver in total PPR scoring and the number 27 wide receiver in PPR per game, which sounds like a quietly disappointing year, but the football tells a more interesting story. When Tyreek Hill went down with a season-ending knee injury after Week 4, Waddle inherited the lead role on a sinking ship. Over the 6 games after Hill's injury, he averaged just over 80 receiving yards a game, compared to roughly 46 with Hill on the field. This wasn't a breakout and it wasn't a bust. It was Waddle carrying a true number 1 workload inside an offense actively collapsing around him. Real football value. Fantasy production that never caught up. Now let's get into the numbers. Waddle averaged 12.1 PPR points a game on 100 targets, a 23% target share, and a massive 43% share of his team's air yards. A true alpha number, the kind you see from clear number 1 receivers. His total receiving expected points added came in at plus 34.5, a genuinely strong efficiency mark that tells you he was winning on a per route basis even when the box score stayed modest. The separation profile backs it up, 2.86 yards of average separation and yards after catch, about 0.4 of a yard above expectation per reception. But the shape was boom or bust. Across 16 games, Waddle cracked 18 PPR points 4 times and delivered 7 games under 10, including a 2.5 against the Giants and a goose egg in Week 17 against the Chiefs. That's the textbook air yards target hunter whose floor caves any week the deep ball doesn't connect. 6 touchdowns on 100 targets is respectable, but a 64% catch rate on a 14.2 yards per reception average tells you a lot of these targets were down the field and either hit big or didn't hit at all. The play that captures the season best came in Week 5 against the Eagles, 3rd quarter, 2nd and 8 from the Philadelphia 43. Tagovailoa hits Waddle on a short middle route and he turns it into a 43-yard touchdown, 32 of those yards after the catch. That one snap was worth nearly 5 expected points, and it's the Waddle archetype in miniature, a short throw, elite speed, the whole field opening up. The trouble for fantasy managers was that those moments lived alongside 2 costly interceptions on throws his way and too many quiet weeks where the offense couldn't get him the ball. The number 24 finish is the honest verdict, a real football number 1 trapped in a fantasy profile that needed more volume around the goal line and a steadier weekly floor to climb into the top 15. Muffed! Waddle's 2025 was a true number 1 receiver workload that landed as the number 24 wide receiver in total PPR and the number 27 in per game scoring, efficient on a per route basis, but undercut by a boom or bust weekly shape with 7 games under 10 PPR. 6 touchdowns on 100 targets and a 64% catch rate point to the real weakness. Too many of his looks were low percentage shots down the field, and the red zone and short area volume never showed up consistently enough to stabilize the floor. That's Jaylen Waddle's 2025. One quick note, if you want the same treatment for every player on your fantasy roster every week, head to muff.ai and we'll build you a custom weekly show. That's the wrap.